Hello and welcome to Clear Channel 333. My name is Yolanda. Welcome in or welcome back. Today I have a Divine Feminine message specifically for the Divine Feminine Collective. Okay. This message is going to be for you. If you find this message on the day it is being recorded, November is going to be significant for someone, but February 22nd. And the week to follow. So the 22nd through the 28th, maybe March 1st, okay? But this is specifically a Divine Feminine message. So if you're on a Divine Counterpart journey, Twin Flame, High Level Soulmate, however you resonate with that Divine Counterpart journey. This message is going to be specifically if you have been coming across messages saying that you're receiving keys. If you have been seeing keys, whether they be in the physical, you finding an actual key, or just seeing them across social media in whatever form you are coming across keys. If you are coming across readings and you're seeing the Hierophant card coming out in readings, this is your message, okay? Now, I'm going to be giving you the keys, guiding you to the keys as I was guided to them today, okay? Because I am a guide. That's why I'm here giving messages. Now, it's 1:22 on the clock right now, 1:43 on the timer, but January 22nd could have also been, I'm hearing a starting point for something very specific in your journey. Okay, so if you can think back to that date, something very specific may have happened that day for you. Now, this link I'm going to guide you to the keys, is whether you're viewing this on TikTok, that link will be in my bio, my link tree. It'll be the second link in my link tree, or if you're on YouTube, you can find it in the pinned comments below. Okay. Now, this 222 as I begin this message. This is a message that has a lot of parts to it, but they all are one message, okay? How you resonate with the message and why it's coming out will all depend on where you are in your journey. Maybe something you're healing through. Just take any part of the message as it resonates, but it's a guarantee that this full message will be for you in some type of way, okay? So when you talk about the divine journey, Divine Counterpart journey, first and foremost, it is a sacred union, okay? But it's also, you can be misled or misguided intentionally on this journey, okay? And there are reasons for that. The reason mainly being because divine counterparts coming into union create positive change in the world, okay? So there will be many entities in various forms trying to reroute you, re-guide you, keep you in a loop of confusion so that you do not come into physical union with your counterpart. Now, provided there are things you must learn, be initiated into healing, okay? Your self-love journey, first and foremost. However, there are those who seek to keep you in loops of disbelief in the journey is what I want to say, okay? So when I speak about these entities, and you may not view them as negative because they're portrayed as positive, discernment is the first key of this journey, okay? Using your intuition and being highly discerning when receiving the message from anywhere, okay? Because the journey has been glorified in such a way, and I'm sure that's for a reason too, 444 as I say that. It's been glorified in such a way where people want to latch on and they don't really know what it's about. And so therefore you're easily misguided. into things that may look not pleasant, but they look alluring to the eye, but not everyone's willing to do the work. Okay, it's an intentional misguiding of the journey. Okay, and so when I say about the journey being sacred, there's a high frequency is wanting to come through, and that's not what I'm wanting to say. But there's a high level of privacy that comes with this journey. Okay, so if you ever see those teaching about the journey and they're very explicit, they're very out in the forefront, they're very this is how it should be done, those are things that you would want to steer away from. Okay, that's someone glorifying the journey rather than just simply leading by example through unconditional love. Okay, now like I said, there are many entities intentionally misleading, misguiding, and misinterpreting the divine journey. It is why extreme discernment is the first key. Okay, you have to be unwavering, is how this came through the message. You have to be so unwavering in your own truth and remember, and you're remembering. Okay, once that even how I took this message down, it feels kind of distorted. The point is to be very unwavering in your healing journey. Okay, remember, once you find yourself having been misled, like 717, as I say this, as you move throughout your journey, if you feel like you're being misled, you most likely are. That's your intuition kicking in. And it's 20, I'm looking at 2882. So mirroring numbers. Definitely that's the mirror soul energy. But the point is that you don't give up. If you find yourself being misled, you feel like you're not receiving the proper information, if something just feels off, you want to tap more into personally with your guides. Once you begin to not cling to a lot of the information from the outside world, unless you're being divinely guided to particular information, the message is don't cling on to information from everywhere. Okay, because there's a lot of information out there and you can get lost in the mix, in the shuffle. Example of why you cannot trust everyone who falls under some type of religious or spiritual title to guide you. Okay, so definitely there are those who seek to misinform, and so I'm going to get into a topic that may be very specific, and I usually don't talk about personal things unless I'm being guided, because I'm private in that way. So this has to be a message that will resonate with someone on your healing journey. So when I say you can't trust or rely on the information from everyone who holds a spiritual or religious title, what I mean is there is deception within any group of organization. Okay, deception can be found. If you pay attention to the media and religious sectors and how they've been dismantled, things of not so good nature has been found being done within particular organizations, then you will understand what that means. You can't go into a situation just thinking that, oh, because someone is a religious person in a religious or holds a religious title in some type of community, that automatically makes them a benevolent soul, a benevolent being, or has genuine intentions. Okay, so I grew up in a particular religion, and you know, when you're small and you're growing up and you're seeing these adults, you kind of you're unaware, but you look at people in a certain way with some type of reverence. Okay, but as I got older and was able to observe or look back, there were things that you just kind of realize. Okay, and as I was growing up, I had a friend whose father was an elder of this congregation, and me and my sisters had been visiting that, you know, his home with her when she would visit quite a few times. Okay, and it wasn't until we were a little older, and I, in speaking to my friend, just noticed that something was wrong with her. Okay, and like I said, her father would be in our organization, like speaking to everyone. He was an elder there, or whatever his position held. But I ended up finding out that he was molesting all of his children. Okay, and so when I say you can't trust titles just because people are where they are and giving the message that they're giving, that's exactly what I mean. And looking back on all the times that I had visited the home, I felt like there was a reason. Like, I would never let my sisters go down there on their own. Like, I was always with them. But then I began to want to be down there more once my friend, not only because she was visiting, but I felt like I had to be there. And even in the place of worship that we would go to, there was just, when I was young, and there was just places that I would go inside this building, and I didn't know why. And but I would get a certain feeling in certain places in the building, and some places like I would never go again inside this building, and it's because it just felt weird. And I'm saying all this to say is that early on, and if you look back in your life, you can tell when your intuition was guiding you from a certain place, guiding you towards a certain place. And so that as we're older, you don't want to ignore your intuition, is what I want to say. Your discernment will become stronger as you heal more and move further along in the journey. Okay. And I feel like I'm stumbling over my words a little, like, so your energy may be unsure. Okay, you may have found this video because you're unsure of exactly where you're going, or you may feel like you're not really being guided in the right way. And so this is why I say come back into self. Okay, if you find that you're coming across too much information, and I feel like for somebody that's why you found this message, you're coming across too much information that may be conflicting and you don't know what to believe. It can happen. And so that's why I guide people to either stick to one person you feel is giving you the correct information, which means you feel good in your body ingesting the information and being guided by that person, or you strictly move in union with your guides, solely relying on your guides, the information you receive through meditation, through being guided to videos that are, you're not looking for them. They literally find you. Okay. So in this personal experience that I'm explaining, it's not trusting blindly is what I want to say. We grow up in these religions, these religious sectors, buildings, communities, groups, whatever it is. And so when we get older, we just feel like, okay, this is somewhere I could trust. This is someone I can trust. This is the word I can trust. And it's not always like that, okay? Because like I said, deception lies everywhere. And so it's just really, truly learning about your discernment. How do I trust the word of someone else? Okay. If you feel like you need to be guided in that way. The truest messages will come from the most unexpected places. Okay. And I've been saying this since very early on in my journey. Usually the message you need to hear, to grow from, to learn, to move throughout this journey, or just your personal journey in life, will not come from those who you're familiar with. Okay. Because the message is what needs to be trusted. Can you trust the message, not the messenger? Okay. And if the messenger is someone you're familiar with, you will easily believe what's coming out of their mouth. Okay. But the message you usually need is from one you don't know. Okay. Because the message you need to trust is from your guides. 9 times out of 10, your guides are going to send messages through in a way you may not ever have expected, through the mouth of a child, through a billboard, through someone you've never seen before, and is just speaking at random. And your sound, it'll feel like someone's turning the sound up. Okay, this is all your guides working through your intuition. How much are you paying attention to the messages you're coming through? That's coming through to you at random. Okay. Now I'm going to pull a few cards to see if Spirit has anything else to share with you. And I'm being guided back to the message of the personal experience. So I feel like somebody may be dealing with this, and you don't know how to help. You don't know how to respond. You don't know how to gauge the situation. Once I found out that this was happening to my friend, me and my sisters literally tried to rescue her by taking her from her home and taking her to ours. We lived like up the street, but like we were hiding her for a few hours and her father couldn't find her. We were in high school, like that was the only thing we felt we could do, like to help her. But once I found out that she wasn't willing to speak about the situation, she wanted to keep it hidden, covered up. She didn't say anything to her mother. She didn't bring out these happenings, okay, to where she could receive help. I learned at that point that there was nothing I could do. So someone may be dealing with that type of situation. You don't know how you can help in a situation. The person who is actually in trouble isn't helping the situation. So that may be why I'm being guided to give that message. But if you find that you're the one speaking out and the person who's actually in the situation isn't speaking out, there truly is nothing you can do. And at that point, you need to walk away, is the best advice I can give. So let's see, I'm going to go to the cards to see what further message Spirit does have for you on your journey. 2 of Cups is what I'm splitting open to, and Ace of Pentacles. And I already know this message is for those who are coming into physical union very soon. Okay. And that is what this will be. This is the union, and this is the love offer, the brand new beginning, physical beginning. Okay. And with the Tower and High Priestess right behind that, divine feminine energy, you're getting a lot of intuitive hits. And it's 1:43 now on the clock. A lot of information is what I feel coming in. So that may be why you just feel like you're overloaded. And at this point, my advice is going to be this. If you're watching this video, that means your physical union is so close, you need to, I would say, step away from anything After viewing this message, step away from any of the readings, step away from anything that doesn't have to do with you and you communing with your guides. Strictly following your intuition, getting messages through the dream state or meditation. Everything else, I would just back away from. 144 as I say that. Okay. Now, I'm going to see why Spirit is... Why do you need this message? 143 now on the timer. And the Magician just wanted to flip over an Ace of Swords. The Magician can be about manipulation. And with the Ace of Swords being there, people manipulating what's being communicated to you. The Emperor is on the bottom of the deck with 6 of Pentacles. This is your divine counterpart ready to come in and reciprocate. Okay. So that I feel is 222 as I say that. The truth you need to hold on to. Okay. Don't allow people and too much information to make your intuition sway. Okay. Make you doubt your intuition. Now, the bulk of this message, okay, very important, the keys, is in another message. So you will want to go to my link tree if you found this video on TikTok. It'll be the second link in my link tree that's in my bio. If you are getting this message on YouTube, the link is in the pinned comment below, and it'll be the second link in the link tree for the video message of the keys, okay? What other messages does the collective divine feminine need at this time? Please and thank you, Spirit. And I feel like, because I'm looking at my accountability tarot, which talks about misalignment, and this message is not about misaligning. You are in direct alignment for physical union. Somebody may be doubting, 333, as I say this, that they've done enough work. If you're at this message, you've done enough work. There is literally nothing left for you to do but allow your divine counterpart to come to you. Okay. However, the universe has orchestrated that. You've done enough work. 7 of Pentacles. This is now reaping the rewards of all the hard work you've put in. Okay. Chariot. You are in alignment. This is the yin yang energy, but I'm also getting Wheel of Fortune. And if you see the black and white portal down there at the bottom, today is the 222 portal this week. Okay, the week time frame beginning today, and actually I would say beginning maybe about 2 or 3 days ago. That full time frame, okay, divine counterpart energy 222 is very significant. Also, you may be seeing 2222. Now, the video that I found that has the keys in it, it was 222 likes on there, and it was posted, that message was posted 2 days ago. So you may be seeing 2222. Okay, let's see. Tell me more about this message, please and thank you, Spirit. Ace of Swords. This is where you're gaining truth and clarity, and right behind it is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so energy shifting, but this is, and I'm going to go to the guidebook for this Ace of Swords message, because it's very important, because you are stepping into your joint mission together. Okay, and Spirit has a question for you. It says the Ace of Swords is a eureka moment. Something that has been puzzling you becomes crystal clear in a flash of insight. In a flash of insight. Okay, trust your intuition and the divine hits you're getting, the intuitive hits that you're getting. In a flash of insight, the truth comes to light and you discover a new way of thinking. You can see the way forward. However, this way forward arrives with a challenge. If you have the courage to act in alignment with your higher purpose, can't even make it up, like literally, the message is here. I think I put the Chariot back, but the Chariot with the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, you're in alignment with your higher purpose. To speak your truth, okay, and fight for what you believe in, you will achieve success. Personal victory depends on conviction in yourself, which was the message. Not allowing anyone to sway what you know, okay? Don't let anyone talk you out of your own intuition. It says, to speak your truth and fight for what you believe in, you'll achieve success. Personal victory depends on conviction in yourself and a willingness to be honest and clear, even when it stings. Will you pick up the sword? So that Spirit asking you, are you ready to step on this path together? Because it's about working together. It's about accepting constructive criticism back and forth. Also, not allowing others to come in between your sacred union, okay? And the activation says, I'm thinking in a new way. So this is being able to see clear, even if you feel there's some type of doubt, worry, misconception. And this has to do with now and moving into your partnership, okay? So let's see. Let's get a postcard from Spirit to close the message. Spirit guides, what message does the Divine Feminine need at this time? $8:15 was really standing out. Somebody may have, I'm getting an appointment at 8:15. That could be somebody's confirmation. So let's see. What is the message here? Postcard from your spirit guides. What's the message? It says celebrate life, okay, on the front of this. Dearest you, we need you to know that you can change things miraculously for you and everyone and make things right. It's never too late. Forgiveness is about releasing yourself from the burden of an old story, one in which you were a victim of someone else's actions or your own. You don't need to carry this around. You can set yourself free. Even advocating for good because of this experience requires your forgiveness to be effective. Forgiveness is never about condoning things that were done. It's about letting yourself off the hook from carrying the burden. Resentment and hurt are like viruses and spread to others, and that is the opposite of what you really desire, right? Imagine what your life would be like without the burdens that you carry when you do not forgive. You can do it. Everyone over here believes in you and adores you. Now, this is a strong message coinciding with the personal experience that I gave, is what I feel this is. And with the message being that if someone isn't wanting to advocate for themselves, there's pretty much not much you can do, is a strong message here, in which you would have to lay down the burden of the situation and understand that, forgive the situation and move on, okay? So with that being said, this is your message. Please do find the keys. 153 on the timer and 153 on the clock. That's a very significant number for someone. That is a 9, an ending, okay? So something's ending in order to begin something new. Your solo journey is about to end so that you can walk into your divine counterpart joint mission and journey here, okay? 222 as I complete that sentence. So with that being said, this is your message. May it have resonated and been helpful in the way you needed it most. Take care.